What's up, y'all? Corey with Redbeard here. Figured we'd do something a little bit differently today. Usually you'll see my face or Jared's face or Johnny's face, aka Redbeard. But today we figured we'd do something a little bit different. And to begin with, let me just start by saying I apologize for the video quality. I didn't realize until after I recorded this video that my camera angles were all jacked up, so I did my best at trying to edit them and crop them out, so hopefully it gets a little bit better for you guys, but I apologize. But we got two regular ribs right here. We're going to go ahead and just pat them dry and take the membranes off of them. That first one was, I don't know what was going on with that first one. It was difficult to get that membrane off. But I don't use a whole lot of binders on my meats when I'm smoking them. So we're just going to go ahead and put the seasoning on it. Right here we got the Lone Star brisket seasoning. And yes, before you say anything, it does go on brisket, but I use this on everything, and it is absolutely amazing. A lot of people, like I said, they'll use binders to help the seasoning stick, and I've seen people use mayonnaise and mustard or honey or whatever, but all I really do is just pat the meat dry, and what that does is it allows the seasoning to stick a little bit better to the actual ribs themselves, and you want to make sure you get underneath that little flap right there too. And we're going to do this for both sides of it. The other seasoning I have is the Kinder's Prime Rib seasoning. Now, it does require some extra tending to. Without a binder, it was very difficult to use because all the seasoning wanted to do was just fall right off. So you did have to go in the extra step and make sure it's all patted in and pushed in really good, so that way when you flip it to go to the other side, all that seasoning doesn't run off. So I would recommend, if you're going to use the Kinder's Prime Rib seasoning, to go ahead and just use a binder just to be safe. But if you don't want to, it is what it is. We're also going to come behind later with some Kinder's Brown Sugar Rub. Now, I got the brown sugar rub thinking I had regular brown sugar, but I didn't, so I used a little extra, but we'll get to that point. But right here, again, just same thing, patted it dry, didn't use a binder, took the membrane off, seasoned it with that Kinder's, however you say it, prime rib seasoning. It was a little difficult, as you can see there, but we do that for both sides of the ribs. And yes, before y'all say anything or question me about it, I only had one glove left, so one glove is on and the other hand is just kept getting washed 24/7. Make sure you wash your hands before you do anything, because your hands got some germs on them. But we just patted it dry, put the rib seasoning on it, and went to town. Again, do the same thing for both sides. Now we're going to put this on the pit ball smoker for about 3 hours at 250. We're going to do a 3-to-1 method, which is 3 hours unwrapped, 2 hours wrapped, and then another hour either can be used for having it wrapped with barbecue sauce, or having it unwrapped with barbecue sauce, or if you know for a fact they're already cooked, you can have the hour as a resting time, and when it's resting, it's still getting cooked because of that heat. But we're gonna go ahead and just put these bad boys on here. There's really not a good place to put it that's not gonna get smoked. It's a pellet smoker that we got here, so put it anywhere and it really doesn't matter. And after about 45 minutes to an hour, we're going to come out and spritz it with some apple juice. Now you can use whatever you want to spritz it. I've seen people use Dr. Pepper, some people used apple cider vinegar. This is just what I had laying around in the fridge, so we used some apple juice to spritz it. And this just helps keep the meat and seasoning all moist up and looking delicious. After the 3 hours is up, we're going to go ahead and take these bad boys off. Now the Kinder's prime rib seasoning did have a little kick to it, so I'm not sure what was included in that. It tasted like some type of cayenne pepper, but I wasn't sure. Now that is the brisket seasoning, the Lone Star brisket seasoning that we used. It was absolutely phenomenal. And then that bad boy right there was the Kinder's, however you say it, prime rib rub. As you can see, it's got some oregano and some leaves and stuff. But we're gonna bring them back inside, and we're going to hit it with some brown sugar. If you have regular brown sugar, I would recommend using that, but I did not, so I used the Kinder's brown sugar. We're just going to, for both of these, we're going to put some brown sugar rub on them, and then we're gonna put some cubes of butter. Probably gonna put about 4 or 5 on there. You don't want to put too much because you don't want it to be too buttery. But this is just gonna help that the moisture stick a lot better, and you'll have a very good juicy rib when it's done cooking. But we're going to do this for both of them, brown sugar on both of them. Like I said, if you have regular brown sugar, I would recommend you to do that as well, or you can do that instead of the brown sugar rub. But we're going to make a boat shaped foil and wrap these bad boys up, and it's just going to help us keep all that moisture and all that buttery goodness and stuff seeped into the bottom of the ribs while it still cooks. We're going to put these bad boys out on the smoker for another 2 hours at 250, and then when that is finished, again, you can have the option to put it back on the smoker for another hour and marinate it with some barbecue sauce, or you can let it rest for an hour. It doesn't matter. Just do whatever you want to do. It's yours. But man, this came out delicious. It was phenomenal. It was a 20 out of 10 rating from the family. But man, those bones came out super clean. Super clean. And just look at that goodness. Y'all get some. But until then, later, Gator.